Howdy, TexAgs. Welcome into From the East Side, TexAgs' renewed student podcast for students by students, including your favorite students on this campus. I am Naegeli. I will be one of your co-hosts.
And I'm Luke Evangelist. I'll be the other co-host.
So we had a really exciting episode today. A lot of special guests. Luke, you want to take it away?
Yeah, so our first guest was none other than head yell leader Trevor Yelton. And we also had senior yell leader Thomas Greve. And we're going to be doing weekly interviews with our soccer reporter Kylie Stoner and our volleyball reporter Kennedy Cavin. So all that and more on our new episode.
Check it out. All right, guys, we are here for our first edition of From the East Side, our newest student podcast. And our first guest, we are so excited to have head senior yell leader Trevor Yelton is here with us. Howdy, Trevor. How are you?
Howdy. Good. How are you?
I'm great. We are so happy to have you. I know me and Luke were very excited to, kick this off with one of the most influential students on campus, I would say. So just taking it back, let's just go back to the beginning. Basically, before you ever even knew about A&M or when you were a kid, just how did you get to know the university? Did you always love it? Did you have family? Just how'd you end up here?
Well, I'm a first generation Aggie, so I'm not an Aggie. Okay. Come from an Aggie family. My brother came to Aggie land. He's class of 21. He was in the Corps. He's pretty quiet. We were close growing up. Me and Trent is his name. But he didn't really tell me too much about it or anything like that. He was just kind of like, if you're going to go to Aggieland, you should join the Corps. Okay. And that was kind of it. And my dad's military, so we lived out of state. We came for like one game, and it was actually the UNM game. So we came up for the UNM game whenever I was a freshman in high school, I believe. And I got to see the Corps march in. I got to see Trent. It was pretty cool. I loved all the tradition, all the spirit that we had. I saw the yell leaders a little bit, but I didn't really pay too much attention to them. We ended up beating the hell out of University of New Mexico, so yeah, that was a good one. But so I saw like Kyle Field, I saw the Aggies in Kyle Field, and that was what sold me. I was like, this is where I want to go. So I was a freshman or sophomore in high school, and that's when I first thought Aggieland. And then fast forward to my senior year, we were in San Antonio. Then we moved to New Mexico. I graduated high school in New Mexico, and I only applied to one college, and that was Texas A&M. I knew I wanted to come here, and I was blessed to be able to get in here, and then the rest is kind of history.
That's awesome. So once you got here, when did you know that you wanted to be a yell leader?
Actually, funny enough, Thomas and I, who's going to come on here soon, we were talking about this, and I didn't really realize that I was going to be a yell leader or want to be a yell leader until the moment of. I was my freshman year, we were fishing the Corps, and I was like just focused on that. I'm very like whatever's in front of me, I just focus on it right then and there. I'm not really that good at looking at the future and planning for that. So I was really just focused on my freshman year, my fish year, getting through that, and then sophomore year came about, and that's when the process to run for yell leader, to run for Five for Yell, which is what the Corps does, to put up a team to run for yell leader. That's when it first came about, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Memo Salinas was class 22. He's in 17 with me, Squadron 17. Shout out Memo. And also Keller Cox, class 21, also 17. Shout out Keller. They were both in there, so I got to see them. I got to see them both as yell leaders and then both also as head yell leaders. Yeah. And so they were pretty influential in my part, in my upbringing in Aggieland and as an Aggie. And so I got to see them do it, and I thought it was really cool, but I kind of thought it was out of my grasp. I was like, there's so many people in this university. There's no way that I'm going to be able to be chosen as a yell leader. There's just no way. And so, but the process starts, and I'm like just going as hard as I can to it to make sure I'm socializing, talking to people, get my name out there, stuff like that. I wasn't involved in any organizations my freshman year, and so I was a little worried that was gonna affect how my vote to get a yell leader. I was like, I don't know enough people, but it just kind of worked out to where I was able to get chosen for Five for Yell, and eventually got chosen by the student body to be a yell leader. But going into my sophomore year, I had no idea what I was going to do, and then it just kind of fell in my lap. Like the opportunity was there, I'm gonna go for it. That's kind of that's kind of what happened.
Obviously, y'all are super busy, we know, and there's a lot going around on campus right now. I mean, with football about to start, and then you look at basketball last season, soccer's underway, volleyball's underway. I mean, how just excited are you for this senior year and being able to cap it off, leading?
Oh, how excited am I? I can't even use it. There's not a word that describes how excited I am. This is going to be a great season. We've already had a great summer. It's been a very busy summer. We've had events all summer long. We do about close to 400 events, scheduled events for Yale a year. And so that's a lot. And then a lot of them have to do with athletics or whatever it may be. Aggie Moms Club, that's a big one. We love the Aggie Moms. Shout out. But I'm so pumped for this season. I know that the team's gonna be doing good with football, but that's just a little bit of it. Everyone thinks that we just do football. We do soccer, volleyball, men's basketball, women's basketball. We're gonna try to get involved with spring sports too. So we have a lot of big things that we want to do with Yale and as Yale leaders. But I'm pumped for football. That's what we're talking about right now. I'm pumped for football. It's gonna be a great year. I actually got to practice with the team this upcoming week, so I've been training for that a little bit. We'll see what happens. But yeah,
that's awesome. What expectations do you have for this season?
Expectations, expectations. The standard for me and my group is through the wall. Yeah. We want to shoot for greatness as much as we can. We want to be super successful, and if we set the bar right here and we reach right here, we're still gonna be pretty dang high. So that's the goal. We've looked at the past years with Yale. We've gotten a lot of word from former Yale leaders. We've gotten a lot of word from coaches, people in this university who've worked with the Yale leaders. So we have a grasp of what we want to do with the Yale program. And now it's in my hands, it's in the senior Yale leaders' hands, it's even in the juniors' hands to make these things happen. So I have a pretty high standard that I want out of the guys that are in my group, and I have a pretty high standard of what I want for our Yale program to do. So,
good.
Yeah.
Just awesome. Take us through the process of just being nominated and then learning, the 5 for Yale, the whole process, and then ultimately this year and last year learning that you were going to be, standing in front of 100,000 Kyle Field every week.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Yeah, but so sophomore year, there's always going to be 2 junior Yellers, and there's always going to be 3 senior Yellers. That's how it's always been, and that's how it always will be. But so it's the process of 5 for Yale starts in the core your sophomore year. For Thomas and I, we were both junior Yale leader. So it started our sophomore year to get elected by our peers to get elected for 5 for Yale. And then once we got 5 for Yale, we go run a campaign as a group with the or against the university, essentially, against other individuals in the university. And then that group, as 5 for Yale, runs campaigns. We speak to people, sororities, organizations, flows, slows, whatever it may be. We just go around campus trying to spread our Aggie stories to the students so that they can see us, kind of get to know us, and then once they get to know us, we hope that we can get their vote at the end of the day. And then that comes down to in front of the E. King Gill statue, we get called out, and whoever gets chosen as Yeller, they'll always announce 2 juniors and 3 seniors, and we were blessed enough to get chosen for junior Yale and then also senior Yale. So that's
awesome.
In a nutshell, it's kind of what it is.
That's awesome. So what is that experience like running out with the football team? It's game day, high energy all over campus. Just take us through that.
That gives me goosebumps. Kind of nervous too. Kind of nervous about that. But the tunnel is awesome. There's the core that's next to us. They have a line. We got Reveille right here. We got the team fired up. We got Jimbo right there. I mean, that's the most unreal feeling. That's just on the field. Then we look up and we see 105,000 Aggies whipping their towel back and forth. We're like, this is just unreal. This is crazy. And they're all there to support the Ags that are playing on the field. And that is the passion that we have. That is what gives us energy when we're in there, because it gets tiring. I mean, doing close to 400 events a year, I mean, it's exhausting. But what keeps us high energy and what keeps us passionate for each and every single event is the 12th man. So when we're running out, the energy is unexplainable. It really is. The energy that starts the night before with midnight Yale practice, it's unreal. We have close to 30,000, 40,000 Aggies pull up for midnight Yale practice, pack 3 decks, hopefully. That's what it's going to be for University of New Mexico midnight Yale practice. I heard that. Someone told me that.
Yeah.
But the energy is just unreal. And then to think that I got to do it with my 4 other best friends, it's so much fun. It is so much fun.
Good. That's awesome.
Obviously, I mean, you talked about the 400 events and stuff you have. You also have to go to class, every week. Like, is it as chaotic as you would think it would be, or?
Yeah, I'm a construction science major. So
okay.
There's some hard classes. Estimating too. The co-sci bro side knows what's on that. But yeah, the class is kind of like I try to get to know my professors really well, because if I don't know them well and I end up skipping class or something like that, which we try to go to class as much as we can. There's some times where events literally just get in the front of it, so you have to do your event. But we try to keep class. Obviously, school is why we're here, so we need to go to class to get good grades, to be Yale leaders. You have to have a certain GPA just to be a Yale leader, so you have to go to class. But I try to get close to my professors or my other students in the class, just so they know me. And if I have an issue or something conflicting with class, I can talk to my professor, and he might have some grace or she might have some grace for me to skip class and go to a Yale event, which is more fun. So.
Yeah. For sure. So zooming out from a national perspective, not a lot of people really understand what goes on here, what makes A&M so special, and so what comes with that typically is criticism. So being the face of, the student body, of being the head yell leader, how do you deal with that criticism?
Yeah, well, one thing that I just want all Aggies to know is that what we do is different, and we need to be proud of being different. That's what it is. Last year, we got a lot of backlash at that App State game.
Yep.
Not only did we not play that well, but the yell practice was great, but we didn't play that well, which it can fall on us sometimes. So not all the time, but it can fall on us sometimes. So it gets tough, but we got to realize what our mission is as yell leaders, and that's to ultimately make our Ags win. Help the 12th man, rally the 12th man behind our Ags so that we can come out victorious. That's what we do. That's why we do what we do. And so when things get tough and when people are coming after us or whatever it may be, it's really just social media. Twitter fingers are coming after us. Honestly, we just keep on rolling because that's all we got to do. We just keep on rolling with what we got to do, what's in front of us, and that's to help our Ags win. And so we rally the 12th man. We get the 12th man excited and don't let them get distracted by whatever the Twitter fingers are going to say to us. We got a job to do, and we're different, and we're proud to be different. That's what I have to say about that.
Yeah, that's great. Obviously, second year, what has been the most enjoyable part, you would say? When you look back in 50 years and you're like, man, that was so cool.
So far, or this?
It could be so far, and then it could be something you are so excited to see moving forward.
Yeah. So the midnight yell practice for sure. That's looking back at both the years I've done it, and I still have a lot to do, a lot of I want to do with head yell leader. But looking back at my junior yell and then up to this point as a head yell leader, I would say the most memorable thing for me is probably midnight yell practice, just because the first midnight yell practice I actually didn't say a fable, so it was pretty relaxing for me. I got to just go out there, lead yells, and it was humongous. That first one it was 3 decks or whatever it was, and also Thomas, he had a fable, and I knew he was going to crush it, so I was out there just having a good time.
Yeah.
And so that first midnight yell practice was honestly one of the most memorable experiences I've ever had in my life. And then football games. Honestly, the next day was the 6-hour or 9-hour game or whatever it was, and it was rough, but that was fun too. And there was everything's a great memory. It's hard to say that the one thing kind of trumps the other because it's all so much fun. There's so many things I take from each event we get to go to. But that's kind of looking at overall. And then in the summer we get to go to fish camp, and fish camp is so much fun because not only do we get to help our Ags win and support and rally the 12th man at games, soccer, volleyball, whatever it may be, but we also get to go talk to freshmen and welcome new students, whether they be transfer or just incoming freshmen. And that is just that's so special to be able to welcome new students, new Aggies who may have zero Aggie past at all. They might be a first generation Aggie just like myself, and be able to teach them some tradition, get them fired up to be there or be here, and help them recognize that this university, they're gonna be walking away with more than just a degree. They're gonna be walking away with more than just a degree. They're gonna be coming out as an Aggie with the Aggie family behind them, and the Aggie connection is real. So that's really, really special for me. So to be able to welcome freshmen at fish camp or T-camp's really fun for the transfer students. That's just so much fun. We have a whole little presentation or production that we put on for these freshmen, and we enjoy preparing for it. We get high energy doing it. We get kind of the jitters right before midnight yell practice. It's real. So that's fish camp is another really fun thing. But the football games are also just crazy.
Yeah.
To be able to run around Kyle Field, especially as a junior, the juniors are on the sides, the north and south end zones. And so I was on the south end zone, and I'm running back and forth. I got the band right there, the cadets. I got old Ags, new Ags, former Ags, gonna be Ag. I got them all right there. Yeah. I'm running around getting them hyped up, even when they don't want to be. I'm like, get up, get on your feet. And so that's just always unreal too. So there's a lot that comes with yell, and a lot that I could talk about all day because it's such a privilege to be where I'm at, and I'm so blessed to be able to be not only the head yell leader, but to be able to have served this university as a junior yell leader too. It's been a privilege.
Yeah, if you had to pick a favorite memory, a favorite story that you've got from traveling with the guys to one of those 400 events, away games, SEC tournaments, really anything.
The first one, I'm just gonna say the first one that comes to mind because, like I said, everyone is so much fun. The first one that comes to mind is Nashville men's basketball SEC tournament. It was a blast.
Yeah.
Basketball was a blast. Nashville was a blast. We got to go down to what was it? Is it Broadway? Is it
yeah.
Broadway. We got to go
Yeah.
to Broadway. We got to hit up all the fun places on Broadway. It was a good time. It was a really good time. And the last year's group, every year there's only five yell leaders, and so we get really close. And everyone asks, like, are you guys actually friends? Like, do you guys actually like each other?
Yeah.
And I love these dudes. Like, these guys are my brothers. And last year's group and even this year's group. And yes, they make me mad sometimes. And sometimes I make them mad. But we're brothers at the end of the day. And to be able to go out there and have fun and do, not only just to do the Yell events, but to also go have fun outside of Yell and hang out outside of Yell. That was so much fun. And Nashville, like, blended the two together very well. And it was, like, in the middle of, like, finals or whatever, or, like, right after finals or whatever it was. And so that was kind of fun, just kind of get away and stuff like that. And we had just been elected as Yell leaders, Thomas and I, and then the new group. So the old group, Zach, Nathan, and Kip, they were fired up for us. And then Thomas and I were fired up to have our new group. So there was just a lot of good energy, good vibes rolling into Nashville. So that was a really fun trip.
Yeah.
Wish we could have tagged one to Nashville, but football obviously right around the corner. Do you have a record prediction for the Ags this year? 12 games. Are we making the bowl? Making the New Year's Six bowl? What do you think? What do you think?
We're gonna make the bowl.
Okay.
We're gonna make the bowl.
Okay. Bounce back year.
And I'm just gonna go ahead and say Ags by 90 all the way.
All right.
Okay. That's what I'm gonna say. That's my job right there.
Every game. So we're going to finish it off with some rapid fire questions. We're just going to hit the first one. Who among the current Yell leaders would you not let date your daughter?
Ethan Davis. Ethan Davis.
Any reason behind that?
He's a beast.
Okay.
Ethan's a beast. I love that dude. He's a lot of fun, but he's a lot of fun. So that's why I'm going to keep him from dating my daughter. So I'll just end it at that right there. That's all they need to hear.
All right, next up, favorite A&M tradition.
Favorite A&M tradition? Muster, for sure. Muster is my, like I said, I'm first generation Aggie, and I know this is rapid fire, but first generation Aggie, and so to be able to go to Muster and know that one day my name's going to be called for here, your name, that is so special. That is the Aggie family right there. Yeah. That is what makes Aggie so special. So I love Muster.
Yeah, coolest stadium or venue you've been to?
Bama Stadium. Well, okay, Kyle Field is the best stadium. Yeah. Kyle Field is the Coliseum of all college football. Yeah, without debate. So everywhere we go is not going to be as good as Kyle Field. And I at first I was kind of like, I was really looking forward to going out to all these other stadiums, but I quickly realized that nowhere is going to top Kyle Field. So, but Bama had some cool lights and stuff like that, and also it was a really good, fun game for us to go to. So that was a fun one.
Yeah.
Favorite current player on the roster, the football roster? If you had to pick one,
there's some good dudes.
There are.
I got to meet Samu.
Okay.
I gotta meet
Talamano Pepe.
Yes,
Yeah.
I gotta meet Samu, and he's awesome. First off, when I met him, we were like in the locker room, we were shooting some video, we were doing something, and I was in there, and he comes up, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on, Trevor?" He grabs my hand, and I thought he was gonna crush it. I don't think he was trying. His hand is so
giant.
I was like, this dude has more muscles in his hand than I do in my entire life. This guy's friggin' huge. But yeah, no, I like him a lot. He's awesome.
Who's your favorite former player?
Gillespie.
Yeah,
I love him. I thought he was a great 12 man. He has that energy that I love. Like he really got the 12 man fired up. So I really like him. Yeah.
And then to top it off, do you have any before game like superstitions? Anything you have to do before a game every game? Eat a certain meal. Do a certain yell or things like that.
Not really superstitious. I pray before every game. Like I always pray for everything that we're about to do and the Ags about to do and keep everybody safe. So that's not really a superstition. I would say the superstitions. As yellators, we drink a lot of Red Bull.
Okay.
We drink a lot of Red Bull. So sometimes I'll slam a Red Bull before. May or may not do that. So yeah, we do that. I would say that's kind of like my pregame rituals to put a bull down.
Okay.
So.
Love that. Gotta have the energy, you know? You're bringing the energy, gotta have the energy.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for joining us. You were awesome. I know me and Luke were super excited to have you. So that will do it for Trevor Yelton, head senior yellator.
Thank y'all.
Hey, y'all, just a reminder, the first Midnight Yell of the season is Friday, September 1st at Kyle Field.
What time is it at?
Hey, everyone, welcome back to From the East Side. We're sitting down with senior Yell leader Thomas Greve. So, Thomas, tell us your story and how you got to A&M.
Yeah, man. So, my dad's class of 91, so he's an Ag. But before him, my family is all T-SIPs. So, yeah, I know, yeah. So, he is the one who really introduced me to A&M, and so the first time I ever came to campus, I was a freshman in high school, and the reason he took me was because I said, "Hey, Dad, I want to join the military," and he said, "Okay, you need to come see the Corps of Cadets." So he took me to a football game, and that was when we played LSU, so that would have been the fall 2016. So that game was cold and raining, and the Ags ran out of time.
Yeah.
And it was not the best recruiting day for A&M, but I got to see the corps march in. I got to see the band. I got to see Kyle Field. I got to see the campus. I got to see the student body. I got to see my dad reliving his days, and my godfather is his college roommate, and they were fish camp partners, so I got to see them just like, reliving their time here in Aggie land. And I was like, oh, man, like this place is special. Like I could just tell from, I didn't get it right then, but I knew there was something special about this place. And so that was when A&M was first put on my radar. And then I applied my senior year of high school and got in, and, was all about the core. I mean, the core is ultimately what brought me here.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, here I am. So just going through the days, loving every single second of it.
That's awesome. Trevor obviously talked about last year and how y'all, just had so many awesome experiences. Just take us through your perspective. Football season last year, basketball, all the other sports y'all do. What a time to be a student, for sure.
Yeah, no, it's a very unique and just wild experience. And like you said, 400 events a year, and that's just the official ones. The stuff there's stuff we do that doesn't make it on our calendars, whether that's, having dinners with former Yale leaders, or just, we live here all the entire summer because we were having so many events to do, and we do a lot more than athletics. Like he touched on fish camps a little bit. We just did our last new student conference for the summer right before we came here this morning.
Okay.
So but every experience we have, even though there's so many, is truly unique, and is truly an opportunity to get to meet an Aggie and welcome them to A&M and to ultimately do our job, which is spread the spirit. And so to be able to have that is just like an incredible privilege, and to be able to have such a broad pool and a broad way to touch people and way to introduce people to that spirit is just incredible.
Yeah. What's been your favorite memory so far, and what are you looking forward to most about this year?
Favorite memory? Midnight Yale, like that's just you can't beat that. You can't beat that as a Yale leader. But I know Trevor touched on that, so I'll touch on another very special memory of mine, and that was this past round of fish camps. So my dad, like I mentioned, he was class of 91. He was also a namesake for fish camp. So that basically just means that he had a camp in honor of him. So there was actually a camp Greve, Session B Lime, shout out, this past summer. And so not only did that get to happen, but I got to attend as both his guest and as a Yale leader. And so I got to do the performance for that, got to shout out my dad and his camp. And one of my best friends, who was actually my fish camp partner when I was a counselor 2 years ago, was the chair of his camp.
Okay.
And so she, Caitlin Rogers, she's an amazing human being, and she ran that thing. And that, honestly, that was the most special part, was watching someone so close just have so much success and be so happy and get to witness that. So, yeah, I guess just having opportunities like that most people just don't get to experience. I'll remember that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You've been a student, obviously, before your Yellow Deer days, so you're just, a regular guy walking around campus, and then now you go from that to doing 400 events and doing, at every football game, at every event. How does I'm sure a ton changes in that short amount of time, right?
Yeah, well, and the other thing, too, is not only are you not a Yale leader, you're not even just a regular student, but you're this bald guy, and you're a fish in the core. Like, you go from, like, being the bottom of the barrel, and then you get elected and have a privilege like this. So, yeah, and not on top of that, our fish year was COVID. And so our fish year was very limited interactions with people. Everybody was masked up. And so to say a lot has changed in just a few years is absolutely an understatement. Yeah, but, it's just been awesome.
Yeah, so it's not basketball season yet, but talk a little bit about what your experience was last season, the environment in Reed Arena that was created, and like ultimately what you see for this season.
Yeah, so men's basketball was actually my favorite sport that I've done as a Yale leader, and I would even say that over football, to be completely honest with you. Given just comparing the seasons, that says a lot. Maybe that'll change this season, who knows? But the biggest difference amongst men's basketball, amongst the other sports as a Yale leader, in my opinion, getting to see it, was the spirit was like alive there. Everyone was bought in. Everyone was bought in for that team, and then the players were too. They were proud to be Aggies, and you could see it. Not to say that the other athletes weren't, but I think men's basketball did the best job of being a part of this university, and that is ultimately what brings the spirit alive. It's not just us. Like, yeah, we foster that spirit, and we get to be the embodiment of it. But without the student body and without the players, like, what are we? We're just there as a vessel for them.
Yeah.
So
For sure. Y'all recently got to meet Jimbo Fisher, and I know he came and talked to the core. What was that like? Just, just chatting with Jimbo?
Yeah, so we've met him a few times.
Okay.
Last night was the most recent time we'd seen him. But, what an incredible opportunity. And to, again, he even said it last night, but the core is the heartbeat of Texas A&M. And so to be able to bring the head football coach, it's in the middle of, he's weeks out from his first game. Practice, they're doing 2-a-days. Like, he could be doing other stuff. Coach Fisher did not have to come to that, but he does, and he does it every single year, and he takes the time, and it's late at night. It's nearly midnight at this point in the middle of the week, but he does it because he knows that the 12th man originates from the Corps of Cadets, and that the 12th man really does make a difference in Kyle Field. We beat Bama 2 years ago because of the 12th man, in my opinion. Like that, like there's a reason their quarterback could not hear a single thing.
Yeah.
That was Kyle Field. And Jimbo recognizes that. And he wants to he wants to continue that and foster that, and he knows the core is the place to start.
Absolutely. Have you seen the Johnny Manziel documentary?
I haven't yet. But Trevor's, I know. We've been busy.
Yeah.
Trevor's been telling me about it. He's watched a few clips.
Oh, it was incredible. I can't wait for you to watch it.
Yeah. No, I've heard good things.
Definitely something you're going to have to sit down and watch. So last one, just, ask Trevor this to wrap up. What do you think the Aggies' record will be this year?
I'm just a yell eater. Like, I'm not going to get into the stats.
The logistics.
I'm not getting the stats. But if I'm telling you gut feeling, like, just because, I've got that energy, we're winning the Natty. We're going all the way.
Call your shot.
Eggs by 90.
Absolutely.
Eggs by 90 every game.
Every game. Gotta be. So we've got some rapid fire. Of course, the first question. Which of the current Yale leaders would you not let date your daughter?
I can't do that to my boys. I can't say that. I let all of them. They're all great, solid guys. I let all of them.
That's
awesome.
Favorite A&M tradition?
Silver Taps. Yeah. Similar to Trevor, Silver Taps, Muster, and Bonfire Remembrance. Those are the three traditions that set Texas A&M apart. Every school's got football traditions. Every school's got, a hand sign, a saying, but not every school has traditions that remembers the students like we do.
Yeah. What's the coolest stadium or venue that you've been to?
That one right there.
Kyle Field?
Yep, Kyle Field. 100%.
Not even close.
No, not even close. Not even. They call it the Coliseum for a reason. Again, that stadium and the people in it win games.
Yeah.
For sure.
100%.
Favorite current player?
Max Wright. Love that guy. Solid guy. Yeah, and you can tell he brings good energy to that team.
Great mustache too, if I have to say so myself.
Right. I envy that.
It's
stash.
incredible.
I envy it.
Favorite former player?
Von Miller. Yeah, he came out to a big event this past one, and he's been out of A&M for a while now. He's gone to the NFL. Is doing big things, and the fact that he was like, I'm going to come back to my home and fire up the Aggies. Like, wow, what a guy.
Yeah,
what a guy.
And then, do you have any before game superstition? I know Trevor said he had to smash a Red Bull or two before.
Yep,
Same thing.
Same thing. Yep. The Red Bull carries Texas A&M Yell Leaders.
Nice.
Promise you that.
Sponsorship waiting.
Hey, maybe.
Get that NIL rolling.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
Yeah, that's all we've got for you, Thomas. Thank you so much for being here with us. And we look forward to seeing you and Trevor do great things this year.
We're pumped. Thanks for having us, man. Thanks for having us. Yeah.
All right, it's time for some football.
Yeah, football. I love Evan Stewart.
Wrong kind of football, Luke. Come on, get with the program. It's
football.
Okay. It's okay. But if you do want access to good football information, make sure you subscribe to TexAgs Premium. For those who don't know, all students are free, get free access with their student emails. So make sure to sign up.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back to From the East Side. We're here with TexAgs soccer reporter and student Kylie Stoner. Kylie, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am a journalism senior, and I love soccer, so I decided to pick that up as my beat when I interned here.
Awesome. So from your perspective, take us back to those first two games.
So from the first two soccer games, based off the exhibition games, they should have been better. But the FSU game was good, saying that they're a top team in the country. And then the Washington State game, based on last season's pollings, we should have won. And it's become a common theme with Aggie Soccer to lose the final goal in the late times of the game. So it should have gone better than it did. I think the performance was good. Tactically, it was good. I just think they're not in sync completely.
Yeah.
So obviously, G. Guerreri returning for what I think is 31st year. So obviously, ton of experience coaching this team. But there are some new faces, some returning faces. Just kind of give us a glimpse of overall what we're working with this year.
Yes, so we had a lot of the team come back. A couple transfers. You'll see Sammy Smith at the front, around where Miley Hayes usually plays. And she's made a pretty big impact, I would say, based on that. And then Jasmine Wilkinson is also a transfer, and Grace McClellan, who's a goalkeeper. Grace McClellan played in the exhibitions, not in the actual games yet. But I think the freshmen have made a pretty big impact as well. I'm trying to think of ones you would see on the field right now. Margot Matula is a really big one that she did end up giving up a PK in the last game, but she was doing really well so far before that. And then the returning players, Miley Hayes, Mia Pante, Kenna Caldwell, 5th year, all the big ones.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So with Baylor coming up, give us a little bit of a preview of that game and if you expect us to win that one.
I would expect us to, because I believe we've won 14 of the 18 games against them.
Wow.
We have not lost to Baylor since I think the year 2000.
Wow.
So we should win. Yes.
Good.
Absolutely.
I like that answer.
All right, that is a little glimpse into Aggie Soccer before they see Baylor this weekend. So catch y'all next time.
Guys, hello. We have an episode to finish.
Oh my gosh. Sorry. I was just trying to catch some Z's before ticket pull.
Wait. Oh shoot. Did you get the tent?
I thought you were getting the 10.
No, Luke. Come on.
I guess we'll just figure it out later. But for now, we're talking volleyball.
Howdy, TexAgs. We are sitting down here with Miss Kennedy Cavin, who is a student at Texas A&M, and also our volleyball reporter, also the third member of David's Angels here at TexAgs Radio.
I'll argue with that because I'm actually member number 1.
Okay.
2 and 3.
Say what you want.
What
We
I
were
need
the
to
original
say.
2, and then Luke decided to join it.
Thank you.
Anyways,
He was
sitting
invested.
down here to talk some volleyball. But first off, just introduce us. Where are you from? How'd you get here?
I'm Kennedy, like she said. I'm from Caldwell, Texas, just 30 minutes down the road from here. And I don't really know how I got here. Just kind of wound up here eventually.
Just
Here we are.
That's awesome.
Aggie
We're
Land
just,
drew you.
you know, yeah, I've always been an Aggie, so I didn't really have a choice where I was coming.
Okay, yeah, it just had to come
Somehow
right down the road.
I ended up at 308 George Bush Drive.
There you go. And then obviously covering volleyball this season, just kind of Jamie Morrison, first year, he's ready to go. Take us
Yeah.
back to what you've seen this summer. And
So I didn't know much about Coach Morrison whenever he got hired on and stuff, but after reading up on him, I'm really impressed by him. I'm excited to see what he does after hearing him in a few interviews after the maroon and white scrimmage and listening to his interview after the Baylor exhibition. I think that he's going to be able to turn this program around and kind of bring it up out of the hole that it was lying in for a couple of years. I'm excited for him, though. He just actually won a gold medal at U19s this summer. He took some days off of summer camp and went and won a gold medal, got back to College Station, I think 3 days into practice, and they started grinding away immediately. So I'm impressed by him. I'm excited to see what he does.
Good. So give us your thoughts on the roster, some of the veterans, transfers, and returners.
I think the rosters, honestly, I think it's pretty stacked this season. I think that Coach Morrison was able to fill in some of the holes that were left by some of the seniors and then kind of that just never got filled in last season and the season before that. We have 2 really good setters on the roster right now. I was a setter, so I'm it's kind of who I focus in on. We have a great freshman setter, Margot Manning. I was really impressed by her at the scrimmage. And then Nisa, our other setter, she's doing pretty good. I think they ran a 6-2 in the late sets of the Baylor exhibition match. So we'll see what goes there. Middle blocking is unbelievably stacked. I mean, I think we saw that with the stats that they put up.
yeah,
against
what,
Baylor.
17
17
blocks, I
total
believe?
blocks, which is just absurd, especially against number 15 team in the nation near Texas A&M, who, you know, you got to kind of rebuild a program there. That's a little unheard of.
Yeah.
I'm excited for them,
That's
though.
pretty exciting. So Coach Morrison kind of spoke to it the other day, but basically just the 12th man, the energy that they bring. I feel like there's a lot of excitement this year going into volleyball. Just kind of speak to that, and what does the pack to read like?
So Mr. Pack Reed over here, we saw it during basketball, and volleyball is a little bit harder, I think, to get that kind of a wave coming in, but I think it's possible. And I think Coach Morrison was honestly really surprised by the crowd that they had brought out for the Baylor exhibition. I think he was surprised by that, which surprised me. Just because it's A&M, I mean, we're going to have fans no matter what. My parents themselves bought season tickets. So I think the 12th man is going to do good. I think once they kind of prove themselves these first few weeks, and then they get back to Reed Arena, I think Coach Morrison will be pleasantly surprised. I think the 12th man will have a lot to do with the success of this team. Per usual, though. I think that's really with any sport here at A&M.
Yeah.
Good. So with the Omaha invite coming up, give us a little bit of a preview of that, what you're looking forward to.
So I know a little bit more about Pepperdine, who they play on Saturday at 2:30 than I do the Omaha team, but they play them on Friday, maybe 6:30 p.m. But Pepperdine went 19-11 last year. Coach Morrison made it a point to tell the media that he really wanted to schedule teams that had either right at 20 wins last season or above 20 wins last season. So Pepperdine's right there in that little area, I guess you could say. So there'll be good competition, good practice. I mean, Baylor started off on an incredible note, but I think Pepperdine will do good. Omaha, they went 20-10 maybe last season. I can't exactly remember their record, but again, another incredible team to sit there and kind of test, duke things out with, see what happens. Yeah.
There's a lot of excitement for volleyball. We're going to be doing these weekly interviews with Miss Kennedy, so make sure to tune in.
That'll do it for our first episode of From the East Side. Going forward, if you're a student and you're in an organization on campus, a fraternity, a sorority, anything with the philanthropy event, we want to sponsor it and have you on the podcast. We want to get you involved and hear a little bit about you and what your organization does. So just reach out to us on social media and we'll be in contact. Anything you want to promote, we want to be there right there with you because we're students. It's a student podcast by students for students. So just let us know.
You can catch us every Thursday from the East Side. Thanks for watching.